Welcome to Real Voices of Happy Valley. This episode of our podcast is about Suzanne, who is an incredibly busy person, but still fun and lovely to talk to. She's involved in all kinds of sports, and in walking, and in a brass band, which she joined without even knowing how to play, but she learned along the way and is now a valued member of it. And and she lives in Todd, and is Walston, yeah.
That's Todd, sort of, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's she's involved in all kinds of things around Todmorden. And, well, you listen for yourself. This is Suzanne.
So this is me and Viv in our sort of conservatory, talking to Suzanne Oulton, if that's the near enough pronunciation for you. Okay. And I think I've got a feeling it's going to be largely me trying to get in a word in edgeways. Oh. So we're talking to you, Suzanne, because you just seem to be the busiest person I've met recently. I met you when we were playing football at Todd Sports Centre, and then discovered that you missed the last game because you were busy playing tennis.
That's correct.
Then a friend in the pub said, Suzanne, she's involved in Saving Bury Football Club. You're a member of Camera, and I've just discovered that you're in the Todd Brass Band as well.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're wearing an Overgate Hospice hoodie. No?
Yeah, 10 years. I've worked 10 years. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well done, because we've had relationships with Overgate, unfortunately. So, take that off. You've got your Bury shirt on underneath.
Yeah.
So let's start off. How do you fit all this in?
Okay, so yes, unfortunately I don't work, so that's obviously a massive factor, and my children are now growing up. So as the years have gone by, I've had a little bit more time, and I don't like to decline opportunities. That's why opportunities and experiences. I think it's great just to get out and about.
Yes. Well, you're obviously not turning much down. Let's start off. Tell us about Bury Football Club and your role there, because the club sort of collapsed, without going into too many details and swearing about the bloke who took over ownership of it too much.
So back in 2019, Bury, unfortunately, they were already losing money, and the owner at the time, Stuart Day, had decided to sell the club for £1 without really consulting Forever Bury and the Supporters Association. He sold it to a guy called Steve Dale, and he came along, and at first it was going to be a carry-on, but then when it went into cash, taking his cash, people started to get worried, and then it went, and then during summer it was a big campaign then to save Bury, and we never started the season technically in the English Football League. So that's very brief.
Basically, the fans have saved the club.
Yeah, so the fans, correct. The fans created a new team, and were very successful. Started in the North West Counties Football League in the Division 1 North. We got promoted the first full season.
A reasonable turnout for the games.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we get at Gig Lane now. We're getting the county's coming up at about 3,000. When we first started,
not bad for the North West Counties.
It's amazing. We've had, I think we had towards 5,000, and
at least you get you around the northwest of England and the Isle of Man.
The
Isle of Man part of it then.
Yeah. Isle of Man came into the Northwest Counties, I believe. I think this is the case at the same time as what we did, but they got put in Division 1 South, and we got put in Division 1 North. So we didn't play them the first year, and then I think we both got promoted, and then we got to play them.
Yeah, we met at walking football at Todd Sports Centre. I mean, have you played football throughout all this time, or are you new to actually playing?
No. So I played football right at the start, before Bury FC Ladies or Bury Ladies as such. were formed because I was very keen when I started watching Bury in 1988. That was my first full season. I'd only been to one match before. I worked, had money, and I thought, this is great. I was really into it. Just got my information from the Bury Times, and yeah, just got really hooked on watching Bury. So I kind of like asked if there was any way I could play football, and the sports community officer at the time did start to develop, and he set up a group. So I went to that for about a year or so, and then something occurred. I can't remember exactly what occurred, but I was also playing hockey. Was I playing hockey at the time? No, I think hockey came first, and then football. And then then I left that group, and I went playing five-a-side for a few years after work.
Yeah.
Yes, at the co-op and Yates's.
So was that in a women's five-a-side team?
No, it was just a load of workers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just a few chaps and the husband. I think maybe I stopped playing. I think I got into golf. And this is quite time consuming.
We haven't even got onto the tennis yet.
And then I got back to then I went back to and then back into hockey for a few years, which meant that I missed Bury when they were playing quite well. I mean, I turned up at half time.
Yeah.
I was playing for Wilmslow, as you do. That was through someone I met through work. And a few years of hockey, then I got back to football. So no, I hadn't played football for years. I'd watched my son play football, so I kicked the ball from the side back on the pitch.
Right.
Yes.
And you're tennis. You're playing with. Is it Todmorden Tennis Club?
Yeah, Todmorden Lawn Tennis Club.
Lawn Tennis Club.
Because that's their name. No lawn involved.
Fair enough.
But we have got shale, which is currently right now being upgraded to a layering of clay, so it's going to be a much improved surface. We were going to move to the park as part of the not necessarily the town deal, but it was kind of like being part organised alongside that. But unfortunately, the lease arrangements and so forth weren't going to meet our requirements. So we've taken a back step on that one. And we're upgrading our 2 courts. Yeah. I'm just,
to be honest with you, Suzanne, I'm just wondering what's wrong with netball. It's about the only sport I can think of you haven't mentioned.
Well, that's a good call. At school, unbelievably, I was forced to play netball. I really didn't like it that much. I think they dumped me in defence, which, to be quite honest, I can shoot. So I was a bit... it was good. I was really pleased to have the opportunity to play. I shouldn't say that, but I much preferred to play hockey. And I think I just liked having a stick or a bat or something. I mean, I have to say the walking football's a bit like, where's my stick? Where's my bat? Where's my racket? Where's my dart?
I get that, yeah. Or
where's my stick? Club.
Golf.
Yeah. So I have, to be fair, I have given a few
We
sports.
do have those things in common, don't we?
Yeah. So it's more a case of using that skill. As well as relying on fitness and...
relying on fitness gets a bit more difficult. I've found as I get older, I'm not saying anything about either of you. Just in case you've got a hockey stick. So, on top of all this sport, unless there's any more sports you're doing that you haven't sort of told us about, you're in the Todd Brass Band.
That's a bit like the Facebook for walking football. So this is where social media comes into it. In that I did see a post there, and I also saw it in the paper because I do buy papers. I'm one of these traditional people.
Yes, we do too.
So I saw the post for walking football. Saw the post for adult learners for the brass band. So I joined up. I never played before. Played recorder at primary school. And,
that's really interesting. So you hadn't been playing an instrument all that time?
No, I tried to do a little bit of dabbling with a keyboard, personal, by myself back in the late, when I finished school. I always liked music. To be fair, I've not really mentioned, I do I also go to church as well. That was a bit, and I like that because, I like it obviously because of multiple reasons. But let's get the facts straight. I do like a good hymn.
Yes.
I like a good hymn.
Fair enough.
I really like and the brass band's wonderful for music, obviously, and it's a way of just playing hymns, playing all sorts of great tunes. So,
What instrument do you play?
well, I started. They gave me a cornet to start off with,
Yeah.
and I sat there and I joined the group just half a term late, and I sat there with this cornet, and I just could not get any sound out of it, and I thought, why am I just sat here wasting my time? I've got, this is very disappointing. So, I think they gave me a horn,
Right.
and I wasn't getting a good sound out of that. So then they gave me a baritone. So I had stuck with a baritone for a few years, and then in the last year I've been on a euphonium
Oh, right.
because it's
That wrapped all round you.
no, it's not as bad as that.
Oh, isn't it?
No, but it's big.
Yeah.
That's a sousaphone you're thinking
Oh, I'm
of.
thinking of a sousaphone, yeah.
Which would be appropriate for me. Yeah.
Yes, sousaphone should ask to be
Yeah,
moved on to that, personalised
Suzanne on the
instruments.
Susie phone.
Yeah.
No, the euphonium's wonderful for the tune. So I'm very grateful for Dave, our conductor, for letting me move on to that. So basically, it was like a demotion as well. So I'd ended up on first because we're only a small group, first baritone, and someone more competent had come along who can read music and was learning to play an instrument. So he went on to he took the first baritone part, and I went down the step to the euphonium part. But the euphonium lines, what you play is a lot more tune, and there's quite complicated runs of music. Scores in it, musical notes, of course, with all the terms, of which I've never learned any of the grades, and you just
Yeah. But
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
are you starting to learn to read music?
oh yeah. I'm a bit beyond the reading. I can read music.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm not that bad. Yeah. No, I mean, so I do contribute. It's just getting the sound right, and obviously, if you put a complicated piece of music in front of me, I'd struggle. But the adult learner level music that we're getting, I can pretty much pick up that and read the quavers and the semi-quavers and understand like the pace. But I do struggle with 6/8, yeah. Cut common. Sometimes it goes a bit fast. But when we're playing the marching, so I'm in the main band, obviously, but I'm in the adult learners is a lot easier. Yeah. So and we're still on the lookout for new people in the adult learners. Yeah. So that's Tuesday afternoon.
You're
I'm
into
thinking
that,
about that myself. Because I'm with you on the hymns. Some great tunes. And I remember saying, after we'd moved to Hebden Bridge, which is 25 years ago now, said, if we don't go to church and we don't have children at school, where do you hear carols and where do you sing them? And luckily, Christmas Eve every year in the square in Hebden Bridge would be everybody joining in a carol concert. And it was really nice, wasn't it? You know, because they are great tunes.
Yeah, we had a full season this Christmas and the year before. We played lots of carol. Here and there, we played St. Peter's, St. Joseph's, St. Mary's, and outside Morrison's, outside Aldi.
Well, like I say, we've not long moved here. It was only September when we moved here, so we can find out all these things and go to them.
So were you in the brass band that was playing at when the Christmas tree at the back of the town hall was lights?
Actually, that was.
I was there. I was at one of your gigs.
Well, that was yet another funny story in my life. So I turned up and my valves weren't working. So I was very disappointed, and I stood there and I fiddled, and I was like, I really want to start playing it, and the other euphonium, the young lad wasn't there. So I was quite sad about that. So I had to retreat into the town hall, past the mayor, and dismantle the euphonium, and I managed to get it going again. So I missed about 3 carols, and then I was back out again.
Well done.
Someone who was stood nearby was kindly trying to help me start playing, but it genuinely was just wedged. Oh, it was my 4th valve was stuck in. I couldn't have played.
Oh.
So and it started to snow, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa.
I sent you a little video of
You
it,
did,
didn't I?
yeah. The snow coming down and the music.
Because I
It
thought
was lovely.
we only moved to Todd in September, and I thought,
Yeah.
well, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I've joined a couple of things really. It's just social reasons, get to know people.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
It's the same down there.
So how long have you been in Todd? Is it Walsden?
Yeah, Walsden, 21 years, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So still an incomer, of course, but the kids have been born in the area. So yeah, but I mean, I'm involved in a couple of things as well. I mean, the kids got me to know people, but the early days weren't easy at all. I did get involved. I went to tea and biscuits when I had kids, because prior to that I was working. Just got in the car, zipped off. I went. I never saw anyone, so that was
It helps to have a dog or kids at school if you want to get to know people, doesn't it? Because that's where you see them when you're out and about.
I know. I sort of my morning starts off with a sort of a walk. It's about a mile into the town centre here, and I sort of walk down through the park, buy a paper, walk back, and that's how I start my day.
I'm just
And
about getting
you
up
have to
by the
sort of,
time he gets back.
you have to go past all these like large groups of people with dogs chatting
Yeah.
away. And I was thinking, that must be how you get the news of what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah. We haven't got a dog, and I do miss the school setup being stuff there. But then again, on the other hand, I've got Facebook and a million groups now, so I'm not exactly bored. I'm generally quite pressed on time. So, but yeah, going out for a walk is just it can be a bit difficult because it's hard to walk past people.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot longer.
Which is nice, isn't it?
It is. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you go into cities, you can walk across the middle of Manchester in sort of 20 minutes. You can't do that in Todmorden or Hebden Bridge. And presumably, if you live in Sarby Bridge, the same.
Sorby, you foreigner.
Right. So, but when you were working, you were doing seriously clever IT stuff.
Yeah, I was really quite lucky, really. I started work when I was 16, so started as a YTS.
Oh, so, God, remember YTS?
Yeah. I did try to get in at a bank, and I failed on that, on a YTS. So I might still have been working now if I got in at a bank. Maybe not. But I worked at the co-op for 9 years, and then I got into IT. And very lucky, worked on networks and servers and admin. So I started as an administrator, network administrator, and then I progressed on. But then I managed to make a sideways move almost through redundancy. I got made redundant at least I've been made redundant 3 times. So, and I managed to join this IT reseller. So that was a great career, really wonderful.
I mean, being made redundant is horrible. I know that, but you know, it can be very depressing. But it can also just say to you, "Well, go and do something else."
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Although I was sorry when I did lose my job at the end, because I was then stuck because I was expecting a second child, and very difficult. I already had a child at the time, so finding a part-time job in IT. So I did go to the job centre. I got acquainted with the job centre in Todmorden.
Yeah, I used to sign on there as well. Yeah.
And yes, so it wasn't really appropriate really to be getting a job at that point, and not having any local family.
Yeah, that must be hard.
I have actually volunteered a lot of time at the school as a parent helper.
Is that Walsden?
At Walsden, St Peter's, yes. So I did a lot of time there as a secretary of the PTA for 6 years. So I was on the committee all the way. So I had 9 years at that school. Yeah. So this lots of fundraising, and then what else did I do? And then I actually helped in the classrooms up to 2 days, not full 2 days, but over 2 days in a week. And I carried that on after my children left for school, right up till COVID. Yeah. So I was given a lot of time really when maybe I should have been looking elsewhere. However, at the same time, I did also get some paid work when I was covering at dinner time and in the kitchen, which is a really hard job, working in a school kitchen. Goodness me.
But you've experienced it, and you wouldn't have done if you just stayed.
Oh, no,
at
I
work,
was
would
happy
you?
to get the experience in it, and it was on my doorstep. And but with the school cuts for budgets, they've never really asked me back for a couple of years. So now I am looking elsewhere to find.
It is interesting,
and it's impossible to find a part-time job.
If you had got a job when you were 16 in a bank, you said you might still be there.
I think I'd be nicely edging towards retirement.
You
now.
might be better off financially, but all these things you wouldn't have done along the way.
No, I wouldn't have done. And I have to look at that as a massive bonus. I've been very lucky to do all this, and also. I've not even mentioned I like walking. I'm in the Upper Valley called the Walking Group. So I've seen a lot of places with that group. I've been, I like my photography. So
So with the walking, you're in a walking group. So do you follow particular trails? We've spoken to a couple of people who, like Chris Goddard, who's written sort of guides on sort of like the trails around, it starts off with West Yorkshire, she's done them up and down the country now. Do you follow sort of guide trails like that?
No, because I follow the leader.
Yeah. So just keep following the guide.
Where you go, I go.
I normally follow at the back because I'm normally taking photographs. So in the early days with the walking group, which I've been in for over 10 years, which is for retired people mainly.
Yeah.
So I've always been the youngest one. I still am. It's a great group, really. It's unofficial, not ramblers. I used to talk a lot, and I used to be full of anxiety, wondering if I was going to get back in time to pick the kids up from school. Whereas now, obviously, times have changed, and so now I'm at the back, and I'm taking lots of pictures, and I just really enjoy nature and that. But yeah, so the walks are planned a year in advance.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's a schedule, and I've never led a walk yet because I always think I might be busy. So I feel very bad about that.
And let people down.
I don't want. I might be working, or the kids might need me, or something might crop up.
You've got to know whether you can give a commitment in advance for some things.
So I've never done that, but sometimes I believe the people who choose the walks might pick a trail from somewhere and adapt it, but they always recce it as such. And it's an easy pace walks, normally 7-8 miles, and 4 miles for a short walk if you've got a leader for it. And then likewise with walks, I've done my own walks. I've walked the Yorkshire Free Peaks. I did that with a local friend.
Oh yeah.
Just after lockdown, I've walked with my brother I finally got up Scarfell, and Snowdon. Only in recent years. Sorry, I shouldn't even be saying Snowdon. It's got a new name. It's got which I can never pronounce.
I know how it's spelled. It's something like here with that.
That's the one. Yeah.
I suspect anyone who actually is Welsh should sort of tell me off seriously for that.
Yeah.
But it's quite reasonable to call it by its actual name rather than
All right, it's got snow.
The name that the colonialists have given it.
So I've managed to do a couple. I didn't think I'd ever walk up these big mountains. That's thanks to my brother, really, because he started walking with his young son, pretty young, really. Done all the peaks as you do. He lives miles away down in the Midlands, but has come up to the lake. So I've just joined in with bigger walks, but I've really started to slow up. It's just a bit painful walking up steep slopes, aches and pains.
You're in the wrong valley for that.
But it's not too high to the top.
It's brilliant when you get up to the top, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I did a walk up to the Trig Point. I've forgotten the name of it. Anyhow, it's just at the side of Baycup Road.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
I don't know what it's called either, so I can't help you on that one, but I know what you mean.
Anyhow, it's above the Baycup Valley, and basically I walked up there with in the snow when the snow last came down, so that was very scenic.
couple of days ago, wasn't it? We had snow.
I know. We moved in September, and it's. I think this is the first day without rain. It feels like
First day without something coming from the sky, you know.
It's been exceptionally bad, the weather, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yes, it
hence
has,
reason
yeah.
for it.
Anyway, I know you could carry on talking all day, and happily, you probably will. But for the moment, I'm going to say thank you very much, Suzanne. That was quite fascinating.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't mention I've been treasurer for 20 years at St. Peter's.
Oh, have you?
But I'll keep quiet on that
yeah.
one. Jeez.
Fundraising, treasurer.
No, that's quite time consuming.
If you want to hear more episodes of people we've talked to in the Valley, then like and follow and subscribe to us on Facebook, and find us. Go on, Dave, you're going to say something technical.
On whatever podcast platform you're using.
Yes. Yes. Well,
And like us on Facebook as well.
yeah, do all those things. And there's loads more that you can listen to. Please do. Okay, thanks.